Super Bowl rematch coming up Sunday at Arrowhead with the Eagles and the Chiefs. We don't know if Xavier Worthy is going to play in the game. It looks like he avoided worst-case scenario. Andy Reid yesterday called Worthy day-to-day. We'll obviously find out more tomorrow when the first injury report comes out. Femi, the Eagles getting a great piece of news. We've said it a couple times on the show today, and we'll do It Move tomorrow with all the side and total movement for all the games. Jalen Carter will not be suspended for Sunday's game. The NFL saying that Carter was basically suspended already. He missed all of last week's game, the opener against the Dallas Cowboys, and I think that tracks. That makes sense to me. He's fined almost $60,000 for spitting on Dak Prescott, which is probably like a couple pennies for him, but just saying.
What a sentence.
What's happening here, Femi, in the betting market for this game? Where do we stand right now? And what's your opinion of this game now that we know Jalen Carter will play for Philadelphia?
Yeah, over at BetMGM and pretty much every other sports book, the Eagles are the favorites on the road, which might sound crazy when you say that Patrick Mahomes, while a short home dog, is a home dog for Sunday's game. Now, is that going to stick throughout the course of the week? Probably the Xavier Worthy injury news will determine what ends up happening with the betting market, but the total's at 47. That's pretty much everywhere. I think the Eagles should be favored based on what we saw from Kansas City Friday night against the Chargers. Like, I thought offensively, it wasn't that explosive, kind of similar to what we've seen over the last couple of years, and also defensively too. That's where the big issues were. Like, I thought the Chargers had whatever they wanted. They couldn't get any pressure on Herbert. Now here's the Eagles offensive line. You gonna get pressure on Jalen Hurts? Probably not. Not with those two offensive tackles with Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. So I understand why Philadelphia is favored. If I had to pick who's going to win the game, boy, I would reluctantly pick the Eagles. And it sounds crazy because we know Mahomes in these coin flip games, he always gets it done. But man, I just don't like where the Kansas City Chiefs are at right now. The bet that I'll probably end up making in the game, though, is on the under. Like, that's, I think, where I'm going to end up hanging out with this one because the Eagles offense, the OC, Kevin Patullo, didn't really have a great debut, especially going up against a pretty bad Dallas Cowboys defense. And I think that we see the Kansas City defense, I don't know if they'll slow down Philly that much, but I could just see it being a little bit of a lower scoring game than the betting market thinks. So, like, my hunch says under, but, I mean, it's a hunch right now as we're still a handful of days out from kickoff.
I love the way you framed that on Mahomes being a home underdog. And I thought about that earlier today, and I looked this up. And this statistic comes courtesy of David Purdom, who does a great job covering like the business of sports betting for ESPN. Yep. And it's like, and like you should follow him on Twitter if you're not already. He does a really good job. The only time in his career, so like we don't even know if the Chiefs are going to close a dog at home. My guess is that they will, but we'll see. The only other time, if that happens, and he does close a dog, the Chiefs do, the only other time that Patrick Mahomes has been a home underdog in his entire career, Week 6 of the 2022 season at home against the Buffalo Bills. They lost that game 24-20. I think this is. Is that the Tyreek game when like he starts going like and they run the lateral to Kelsey who runs into the end zone? Was that even Tyreek Hill? Who was that?
No, it was
Tyreek was gone
Tony.
At that point.
Yes, it's your boy Tony.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was offside.
I got my wrong like psychotic wide receiver. I got that screwed up. It was Kadarius Toney. You're right.
2022 was just like Buffalo was just like a juggernaut because like that was the year where Buffalo opened the season at the Rams.
That's the 13 seconds game, playoff game later that year at Arrowhead.
It was later that year. Yes, it was later that year. Yeah,
but
Bills Buffalo was so highly rated.
Killed the Rams in that season opener in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so like, because like I think Buffalo closed a favorite in that game, and they destroyed the Rams. So it's like, hey, like they just beat the hell out of the Super Bowl champs, and then like they were just like seen as the juggernaut. But then in January, Mahomes beat them again. But yeah,
that's the one that the Bills should have had. Like that's the game where like they actually should have won that game, and Sean McDermott screwed it up. Wow, what a surprise! Can't believe that happened. But I have that right. That's the game where like Kelsey would have scored at the end, right?
So you're talking about the Tony play? Because the Tony play was 23 when like Mahomes like wanted to like fight the referee or whatever and was like going crazy and like went to Josh Allen.
Okay, yes.
Like, can you believe it?
You're right. Yeah. So that was 2023. So that's the only time that Mahomes has been a home dog, and then we'll see if he closes a dog this weekend. I mean, I said yesterday on the show, I don't think, man, I'm just being real. Man, I don't think I'm going to be able to stop myself from betting the Chiefs. Even if, like, this is how sick I am, but I want to be really honest with everybody. This is really more, I actually don't even want to say this out loud. Like, let's say you took, like, someone I really care about and, like, their life was on the line. Pick the winner of the game. think I'd pick the Eagles.
Yeah.
But I think I want to bet on the Chiefs. It's just my money on the line and no one's life.
A little bit lower stakes, definitely. definitely lower stakes. But I'll say this though.
Mahomes
to you, though,
is a dog.
Mahomes is a dog, but isn't it justified?
Yes.
Like that's where I'm at.
Yes.
And just because I know you feel how you feel about Kansas City in January. This is September.
No,
it's
and
not January.
And it's one thing, and look, if you told me Xavier Worthy was playing, I'd feel way better about it. If Worthy doesn't play, now, okay, here's Hollywood Brown. Okay, great. There's Quinyon Mitchell. Yep. And Cooper DeJean.
See you later.
And here's like Zach Bond and Jahad Campbell on Travis Kelce. Like they might railroad the Chiefs if Worthy doesn't play.
They could smother him. And Jalen Carter's back, so you're not going to just be able to run the football on Philadelphia. He's back in the lineup. So where are the explosives coming from? Where's the efficiency coming from? That's why I kind of lean to the under. And it's Eagles maybe it's not going to look like the Super Bowl where the Eagles high flying attack and they're just scoring points left and right. I think it's more so Eagles choke the game out. Hey, Jalen Hurts with Barkley, they're running the football. Kansas City struggling to get pressure. Spags maybe is sending some extra heat or whatever. Maybe you get a couple of big plays there, but by and large, I think that this is going to be more so Philadelphia methodically moving the ball down the field, trying to keep Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines, and it's the Chiefs' offense struggling. I think that's what ends up happening. I'm not brave enough to bet Philadelphia because I'm kind of chastising you for why you want to bet Kansas City, but I'm not brave enough to do it and bet Philly, but I am brave enough to bet the under because I do think this ends up being lower scoring as we've seen all throughout the course of this NFL season with 3 overs cashing in all of week 1. I think this is a lower scoring game, even though it's the marquee game. And I think a lot of people are going to want to see points, but I don't think we're going to see it.
Did you happen to see what the Eagles said to Jalen Carter when he came back into the facility after obviously getting ejected and then and then obviously was away from the team for a little bit? Did you see what they said to him?
I did not know.
They said, "Hey, Mr. Carter, tell me where you..." I'm sorry.
Just he couldn't help himself.